Have you ever taken a job that actually cost you money? Because I just did. I recently worked on a music video where, by the time everything was over, I had spent more money than I earned. On paper, it sounds like a terrible business decision. And yet, I genuinely believe it was one of the most valuable jobs I've done in years. Because this shoot was never really about the money. My office mate, Halli, got a last-minute call to step in as director of photography on a music video. The original DP had dropped out, the production was already moving forward, and they needed someone fast. The timing was brutal. The song was connected to the Eurovision Song Contest. Deadlines were tight, and there was almost no preparation time. Halli saw an opportunity and said yes. Then he called me. He asked if I wanted to come along as first AC and help build the camera package for the shoot. And of course I was interested. The production also asked whether we could provide some of our own gear. Renting equipment externally would have increased costs, so if we already owned something suitable, that would help everyone. As you know, we have two Sony FX6 cameras, which are fantastic workhorses. The problem was the look. For most commercial projects, we use modern zooms that create a very clean and polished image. But for this music video, the directors wanted something more organic, something with character. Initially, we considered renting a set of cinema primes, but there was a problem: time. On narrative productions, you can spend time swapping lenses, carefully adjusting setups, and refining every shot. Music videos don't work like that. You jump from location to location, scene to scene, setup to setup. Every minute counts. So instead of primes, we went with a vintage zoom lens that gave us the character we wanted while still allowing us to move quickly throughout the day. Problem solved. Well, partially, because using that lens meant we needed a dedicated focus puller. And that's where I came in. The moment we committed to that setup, we realized something else. Our focus system wasn't actually ready. A cable was missing, the replacement cable was too short, the batteries were dying, the monitoring setup needed upgrades, one issue after the other. So I started buying things. New cables, new batteries, a new mounting solution, a wireless monitor that simplified the entire focus pulling workflow, all little purchases. Then more little purchases. And before I knew it, those little purchases added up to around 700 euros. The production budget allocated roughly 600 euros from me and my gear package. You can do the math. I was already in the red. At that point, I had to ask myself a serious question. Is this worth it? 3 days away from home, 2 exhausting night shoots, time away from my wife, time away from my kids, time away from the day-to-day work that actually pays the bills. All for a project that was technically losing money. From a purely financial perspective, the answer should have been obvious. No, it doesn't make sense. If you spend more than you earn every time, eventually you're out of business. But creative careers don't run entirely on spreadsheets. Because what I actually bought wasn't just equipment. I bought capability. At the end of this project, we didn't just own random accessories. We owned a complete, tested, working system. A camera setup that can now be used on future productions. A workflow that is faster, more reliable, more professional. Our production value increased overnight. Then there's the experience. Working on great projects, creating images you're proud of, collaborating with talented people. You can't easily put a price tag on that. But the biggest value came from something else entirely: the people. Before this shoot, I had never met the directing duo. By the end of the project, we were discussing future collaborations. They were invited to our studio. Here. I was invited to events. Conversations started happening. Relationships started forming. And that's where the real return on investment often comes from. Not the paycheck, the network. People often ask how to get more work in the film industry. They think it's about having the best camera, the best gear, the biggest resume. But when I decide who I want to work with, those things are rarely on the top of my list. What I care about is simple. Can I trust that person? Are they good under pressure? Can they work as a part of a team? Are they creative? Do I actually enjoy spending 12 hours on set with them? Because that's what people remember. And that's how careers are built. Almost every meaningful opportunity I've had came from meeting someone on a project, doing good work together, and then getting invited onto the next one. And then to the next one, and then to the next one. That's how the industry works. So, looking back, what started as a small music video became something much bigger. It became an investment in equipment, an investment in experience, an investment in relationships, and ultimately, an investment in the future. So, yes, I spent more money than I earned, and I would do it again. Because sometimes the most important jobs aren't the ones that pay the most. They are the ones that open the next door. If you like this kind of content, let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe. So, see you next week. Bye.